Okay, I think I will be starting. Can you still hear me?
Definitely.
Yes.
Great,
Okay,
I'm happy. So, Krzysztof Rzączek here again with Maciej Malawski. Welcome everyone to the last session of Europart 2020. During the opening session, I told you that our goal was to make this event as conference-like as possible, and I think that given the circumstances, this was a success. We went virtual, but we also went viral. Like, okay, our videos are not exactly, cats with heads, but given a somewhat limited target audience, I think we were quite successful. During most popular sessions, such as keynotes, we had around 100 viewers in real time between Zoom and YouTube. And you can see here some stats from YouTube showing that we had like over 2,000 views of all these videos and quite significant watch time. So the videos and also recordings from these sessions will be there, and I hope that they will still attract further audience, people who couldn't attend this week for various reasons. On Slack, we managed to have meaningful conversations. Slack was quite popular. These stats were updated 2 days ago. There are still no newer stats, but still you see that we had over 2,000 messages sent and over 250 people who were actually using Slack. Today, I've just seen that there are over 450 people registered on Slack. So it's twice as much as the normal audience for this conference for the last few years. Maciej?
Yes, so that's why there are so many people. So we have a long list of thanks, yeah, because hundreds of people led to the success of this year virtual Europart. So yeah, we start with our steering committee and our mentor Luc Bouget for his advice all the time, to our special virtual task force who helped to shape this virtual conference and critically discussed our ideas. It seems everything worked quite well. And we thank our subcommittees, so workshops with Dora and Bartosz, artifacts with Maciej, Michał, and Massimo, submissions, Paweł. Okay, and yeah, we have more slides with thanks. So actually, when we proposed to organize Europart in Poland, we were asked if there is a local communities who supports us. And now, after these 2 or 3 years, we can clearly see that this support was crucial. And it would be impossible to prepare everything without help of our colleagues and friends. So we are also very lucky to have with us the best computer science students in Poland from University of Warsaw and AGH, University of Science and Technology in Kraków, who devoted their time and creativity and many ideas and hacks and what not you can imagine to reinvent Europart as this virtual conference during especially this last 2 weeks. So really big thanks and applause.
Yes. So yeah, in particular, I'd like to thank a few people from this list. first of all, Alicja Świerczek, our graphic designer, who convinced me to use this among other things, who convinced me to use this risky rosé color for highlighting things on our graphic materials, which was quite a step for me, let's say, in my graphic development. Paweł Żuk, our web chair, devoted a lot of time to the web page, and I was a horrible audience for him, asking him to make changes and further changes and even more changes, and let's make this and let's try that one. And so thanks, Paweł, for not resigning along the way. Our logistics, Zbigniew Kowal, Joanna Stasishyn, and Hanna Bargieł, they had a huge problem because of COVID. As you all know, our registration system got blocked at some point because the company processing credit cards decided suddenly that organization of congresses is a very high risk activity under COVID. So they stopped processing payments for Congress organization. And this was a week before our registration is supposed to start. So our logistics team had to compose like mountains of paperwork to convince them that we are reasonable and we won't disappear, and this conference will take place. And among our student volunteers who helped us this week with all these Slack and Zoom and YouTube and whatnot, Miłosz Błaszkiewicz, Jakub Godula, Tomasz Kanas, Jan Kopański, Jacek Kuśnierz, Marek Masiak, Aleksandra Mnich, Rafał Mucha, Michał Orzechowski, Maciej Pawlik, Mateusz Szpyrka, and Paweł Ziędzik. I'd like to especially thank Marek Masiak, who was working with us for the last 6 months, I think. And he not only contributed things this week, but also he wrote a lot of scripts automating various otherwise mundane activities, like notifying everyone from EasyChair on Slack or these kinds of things. A lot of people contributed to reviewing, and had 256 people participate in the reviewing process. I won't read all the names, but I'd like to thank them in particular because reviewing process was especially hard this year. The reviewing period was in March, and this was the period when almost the whole Europe was under COVID lockdowns. So we've all had kids on our heads, and we were all worried about our health and our family's health. And despite this, our PC members and our reviewers delivered their reviews on time. And finally, I'd like to thank our authors. I also won't read all the names, but thank you very much. This year, so thanks. First of all, thanks for trusting your manuscripts in our hands, but also thanks for preparing all these videos that was much harder, I guess, than producing standard conference presentation. And now a moment everyone has been waiting for. So let me introduce Leonel and short information about the next edition of Europar. So Leonel.
So thank you very much. So first of all, congratulations to Christoph and Maciej and all the team for this great conference this year in a very difficult year. So everything happened suddenly, and you have to just to deal with all these modifications. So it's only to close by saying that it's difficult to do better than Poland, but we will try to have a physical conference and have some networking and take beer. So we are all full of these Zooms and webinars, and so it's time just to discuss face to. So next year edition will be in Lisbon. We hope so. Is the 27th edition of Europar. So the key dates for submitting papers will be February 12th. So it's the same date for proposing workshops. So we have the notification late April, and then the workshops in 30 and 31st of August, and then the main conference between the 1st and the 3rd of September. So once again, I will invite you to start going with your research and submit the best work and papers that you have to Europar. Europar is a very well-known conference, and we hope to sustain the quality and organize an excellent conference next year in Lisbon. So thank you, Christoph and Maciej, and hope to see you all in Lisbon.
Thank you, Leonel. And thank you, everyone. I guess this closes this conference. And yeah, I'm really happy that there were no very significant problems. Yes, thanks.
Thank you, Krzysztof.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.